As I did earlier, actually last year and this year, I've consistently voiced real concern with the proposal. This issue came up during the appropriations hearings when the AOPC, the Supreme Court, came before the Appropriations Committee last year during the budget hearings, and then again this year. I can't recall if I spoke at the hearing this year, but last year I did, and expressed concern, asked some questions of the Chief Justice and other members of the court. I think that it's important that we have a clerk of courts and a prothonotary who is ultimately accountable to the electorate. I think that's healthy. Certainly as clerk of courts, I think that made me more effective as clerk of courts, to know that at the end of a 4-year term that I was going to be held accountable. I know the court has argued that the consolidation and bringing the clerk of courts and prothonotaries under the AOPC, under the court, would somehow put in place new efficiencies. I fundamentally disagree. I think the accountability to the electorate makes a clerk of courts more effective and more efficient.
Do you agree that there's fiscal concerns as well? They were expressed at the hearing where in about a decade or so, even the smaller counties, the counties will still have to fund whatever office is now consolidated within them, because the money from the state won't match for what the benefits and the salary will have to be.
No, I think it's a great point. So the court seems to be making 2 points in favor of this move. The first is over the efficiency, which I've talked about and I question. The second is that this is somehow revenue neutral, and I question that also. I think we need to see more information on that, particularly what the long-term impact is of bringing all of these new now state employees into the CSRS, into the pension system, and what the long-term cost of that will be to the Commonwealth. In many cases, these are folks that will have been vested in county pension plans, and now will be transitioning into the state pension system. So as I look at the numbers, I also have concerns that the fiscal impact of this may be understated at this point.
Do you have any concerns that this might happen by judicial decree eventually, that as part of the County of Allegheny case requiring state funding, that these offices will have to be consolidated anyway down the road, and this is just a way for the legislature to kind of make its own destiny?
Well, my hope is that we will follow the process here in an appropriate manner. I think these are constitutional officers. As you look at our state constitution, the prothonotary, the clerk of courts, these are constitutional officers, and so I actually believe that any move to alter how our clerk of courts and prothonotaries are selected, that should go through the General Assembly. I think both chambers of the General Assembly, and I think ultimately should go to the voters for approval. So I'm hopeful that we will follow that process appropriately, and the General Assembly will weigh in.